everything I wear and in the background or in my room is purple or gray. I'm obsessed with purple and gray. Anyways, I just thought it was stupid. So hello, welcome back. Today's video I am going to talk about traveling with overactive bladder and also traveling with nocturnal enuresis or bedwetting. You know what traveling is, right? So like I don't have to explain to you what traveling is like. However, I was thinking about this last week because I went to go visit my friend in Mississauga. She's my best friend. I see her probably about once a month, but most of the time an average of 4 to 5 days once a month. Every time I go, there's a lot of crap I gotta bring with me. For instance, she has an air mattress, which I've talked about in other videos, that we use when I'm there. However, I bring my own bedding, or sometimes I leave it there, but I bring my own mattress protector because she lives in an apartment and I'm not gonna, if I was to have wet the mattress protector and left it with her, like she has to go clean it in her own laundry complex. Like it just seems like a waste of, I live in a house, like I can do my own laundry. So anyways, I bring all this stuff with me and I was just like, there's just so much of it. I had my own bag dedicated to holding all the diapers I needed for every night I was there. And it just, because the diapers end up being like long, because they're the taped ones, so they're built to go up around your butt and everything. So when they're folded in thirds, they're still long diapers and they're thick. So like you gotta stack them and put them in their own duffel bag. So anyway, long story short is half the stuff I bring is just protection, bed sheets, whatever, and then the other half is just not even clothes, maybe some shoes and some other accessories. So it's a lot of stuff. That's the extent of my traveling for the most part. I go see my friend, she lives in an apartment. I don't really do a lot of camping. I don't do any camping. But I have gone camping and stuff in the past when I was a youth counselor in like Bible camps and stuff like that. So I know what it's like to live in live in a cabin or a lodge for a couple weeks at a time. So I've come up with a list of about 10 tips and tricks for helping yourself with when you're traveling with overactive bladder or bedwetting. These are tips I have used in the past. And then the rest of them I kind of pulled from the adult bedwetting Reddit page. So if you want to check that out, you'll find lots of other tips and tricks that people share amongst each other there in different topics and threads and stuff. I think there's at least 161 of us now. When I started there was only 100, well only, there's about 100 people, so it's growing pretty quickly, so that's pretty cool. I didn't start the page or anything, I just like to promote it because it's like the coolest page on the internet. Anyway, so tip number 1, we'll just jump right into it. I would say this tip is probably useful for people who are just starting to like realize that having an overactive bladder or wetting the bed is kind of becoming a more of a nuisance in their life recently, because I've lived with it my entire life, but some people kind of come in and out of this, like these phases of having it and not having it. So if I were you and you're about to travel, I would make a avoiding journal. Track your habits of avoiding and drinking water or whatever. There's like lots of them you can find online. I've linked them. I might link one in the video below or the description below for one I've used before. But you can also find a way to like make it like a Google Docs or something on your phone, because if you're traveling everywhere like you do with your phone to your washroom or something, whatever, most of the time in voiding journals they do tell you to try and measure the amount you're voiding. So for me, I got used to what like say 200, 300, 500, 600 milliliters felt like. So if you can find a way to prepare in Google Docs how you would like to track everything, I will actually copy and paste the one I used on my phone. I'll just put an image here of how I used to do it when I was tracking. Like I've done it many times. I've tracked my voiding charts and stuff like that, so I know how I like to do it. But like I said earlier, a while ago when I was doing this, you can buy these there's certain types of voiding containers you have to pee into them, right? So there's certain types for men and women. So the ones for women are just kind of shaped, I guess, like a weird decanter for wine. You can you pee into them, they measure it, or if you want to feel like using a measuring cup that's dedicated strictly for urinating in, that's fine too. But that's how they want you to measure how much during the every single time you pee. So after a while, you just kind of get used to how much is what is what, like I said, and you can just track that in your avoiding journal. If this is new to you and you've never actually wet the bed before and this is all of a sudden coming onto you, probably start doing that just to give yourself a pretty good idea of what life looks like. It's very surprising to me when you kind of start tracking it. I'm gonna go off on a tangent on this one. It's really surprising. I never realized that I only, like on an average, I haven't tracked my voiding habits in a while, but on average I say I only go about 6 to 9 times a day, which actually I think is below the average for, or maybe it's around. So tracking your urinating or voiding habits, like I said, for me, I know for a fact that every single morning when I go to the bathroom, it is the most amount of urine I will pee, because every single morning, even after like wetting the bed and like probably like going in the diaper or wetting the bed at least once or twice a night, like I know that I've woken up and had to change the diaper or something before and having to put a new one on. Every single morning, I have the most amount of urine stored up in my bladder after all of that. So yeah, that was my #1 tip, probably the lengthiest of them all. But I just always have lots to say about voiding journals and stuff like that. My second tip has to do with when you're flying and also when you're actually in a hotel room or something like that. So picking your seats wisely, because if you're in a plane, you might want to sit near the front or the back, wherever the bathrooms are on certain planes. If you can buy those tickets at those locations, like that's where I recently flew out to British Columbia in May, and I know that I chose tickets to the front or the back of the plane, because each plane I had to take 4 in total for that trip, 2 there, 2 back, but I know that the smaller planes, they had them at the front, the bigger planes, they had them at the back. So anyways, buying them obviously makes it like a little easier to get down the aisles without disrupting a lot of people if they're sleeping or eating or something. But if you don't, that's fine. Lots of people get up to go to the bathroom. It's not unheard of. The only problem with me was that I found that I had to go to the bathroom like 3 or 4 times during the flight. And then of course, so if you're in a hotel room, same thing applies, because you're going to want to pick, like if you have 2 beds or whatever in a hotel room, pick the one side that's closest to the bathroom. Something I picked up on the Reddit page was some people will say that you should put your diaper or your diaper on after you go through security in case you get patted down. Probably avoid some awkward exchanges as well. If you can avoid putting it on until after, that would probably save you some headaches, probably. Tip number 3 is, if you can and you aren't as hippie and like wide as I am, I mean, like I've been able to do this before, but if you can, pre-tape some diapers for yourself, because if you're in a pinch or if you need diapers and you can't, like I find it easiest to put them on lying down. You can't just like randomly lie down in the middle of the streets or an airplane aisle and just start to strap on a diaper. So if you can pre-tape some, pull them off, and then when you need them, you can put them back on. That'll probably save you some headaches. Because I always think about this. I'm always like, I should probably wear a diaper on a long road trip, because every time I go see Ashley in Toronto or Mississauga, it's like sometimes somewhere anywhere from 3.5 hours to 5 hours, depending on traffic. Like it's a big variance most of the time. And if you're in traffic, the worst thing is being caught when you really have to pee. And it's horrible. I hate it. I hate it so much. So every time I'm just like, why do I never wear a diaper while I'm traveling? Because most often I'll leak just all the way through the pad, sometimes into my underwear, and then that's, as soon as it hits the underwear, it touches the seat. So I should probably start doing that. I don't know why I don't. I think I'm just like, yeah, I'll just stop on the road, and I hate stopping when I'm driving. So if you can pre-tape some diapers, and if I could just change the ways I'm doing things now, then everyone would be in a good, happy, lovely place. I think. No guarantees. My 4th tip has 4 interesting little tidbits of information about. This one is about concealing. So, conceal noise, conceal the awkwardness, conceal the pads or diapers themselves when they're off, and conceal smell. So the first one I would say is avoiding noise. So for me, I find that if you can hold like a t-shirt or bedding or something up against yourself, or like over when you're taping something up, even that really helps, like when you're with someone in a room. Like when I'm at Ashley's, I always put myself under my bedcloths and stuff and start to tear away at the tapes. Someone else on the Reddit page said to bring a pair of mini scissors to help to just cut it off if it's noisy in the morning. I usually, like for me, I always have to go run to the bathroom in the morning, so I just like pull them off down my legs, or just tear them off with my hands if I have to, if it's too tight around my body. And that always seems to be fine because I'm alone anyway. But if you can bring a pair of mini scissors, that would help. You can cut them off. This one is huge. Okay, so anywhere you go, try and pack a plastic bag. Plastic bags, for me, have been a saving grace. Plastic bags just come in so handy. They're small for the most part. You can roll them up into a tiny, tiny, tiny little ball and stick them in the bottom of your backpack or purse or something. Or just in your luggage, and you can just put like 10 million of them and they don't take up much space. And they're, most of the time, they're dark, so they could conceal stuff what's on the inside. They're not great for smell. I mean, you could put like 10, like wrap a couple around whatever you're trying to hide and smell, but plastic bags are great. So bring those if you can. My other suggestion is to bring what I've been using recently. I think they are the Abina Ziploc bags, and they're blue in color, so they're dark, dark, dark blue, and they're big enough to hold at least one full diaper. So you can bring a couple of those around. They just look very like regular Ziploc bags, except they have like an extendable like part at the bottom, so they widen out. And they're just good for like, even if you have wet bathing suits or stuff like that. Like no one would judge you. No one would question you if you had a random concealed bag for just like even disposing of, like, not disposing, but like hiding your like dirty clothes or underwear or stuff like that. So those are perfect. I live with plastic bags and stuff like that because you don't have to buy them. Well, actually you do. I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but in Canada you have to pay 5 cents for a plastic bag in grocery stores. Trying to save the environment and all that, you know. I have a hang up on the cost of plastic bags. And then the last thing I would say is if you're feeling a little bit smelly, you can bring like a tiny little to-go Febreze stick or spray with like odor control. Or if you're me and you're a girl, or you like to smells and they're not too abrasive, you can bring like a small body spray. I just would say bring something light smelling, because like with people who have allergies to certain scents, body sprays and stuff like that are light in smell, and it seems to help me feel a little bit more fresh when I'm traveling with groups of people. Okay, and then next tip number 5 is to bring extra protection and supplies wherever you go. Like I said earlier about plastic bags and stuff. So I've always said this, whenever I go out to work or whatever I do throughout the day, I only wear one pad. If I'm going traveling, I bring like 2 or 3 in my bags, because accidents can happen anywhere and they can just be so annoying if you're not prepared. But when you're prepared, it's just such a sigh of relief when you're just like, okay, well, I've gone through this diaper, I've gone through this pad, I've got a backup, I'm ready, I can go change. Like, it doesn't look awkward, like I'm not asking for to stop anywhere to buy anything. So I've gone touring across the UK. That was 4 years ago, I think, yeah, 2013. And I was just prepared, and like I didn't think about it. Like, it was just like second nature to bring all these things. And I brought, like, I'll get into this, but I brought bed covers and stuff like that, and I was just prepared, and it made me feel so much better and safer and just less stressful and stuff. So like just bringing extra supplies wherever you go is the best idea. This one I'm not sure is, like, I don't know. Like I was struggling for a tip with the rest of this, or struggling with phrasing this best, because I don't know if you should put all of it in one bag, because I tend to kind of do that, or if you want to have them all spread out in different little bags. Probably if you're going to be doing lots of day stuff, if you're on a vacation or something, you might want to spread them out in little bags. But for me, I usually pack everything in one big bag and take out what I need for the day. So, I mean, that's up to you if you feel one or the other. If you feel brave enough, this is tip number 6. If you feel brave enough, ask the hotel or wherever you're, the resort, wherever you're staying, if they have accommodations, such as laundry, or if they know that they have protection for their beds for in case of bedwetting. I'm pretty sure hotels respect people who do that, because then you're being prepared. On the Reddit page, there was someone who shared a story about somebody who, it's pretty intense. This guy didn't warn the faculty or staff about his bedwetting issues, and long story short, he wet the bed so much that they were complaining about smell and stuff, so they kicked him out of the hotel. But now he has a lawyer involved because of like disabilities and stuff, and he didn't tell them, but like he was blaming it on like his daughter or something like that. I might not have all the facts straight there, but it looks like it got really messy, and I haven't followed up on that story recently. Like that was only a month ago I think I heard about it, but some staff probably like it when you tell them that there's might be a hint of an issue. So if you can tell them that, I'm sure they'd like it, because then they can be prepared, you can be prepared. There's no awkward exchanges when you get there, hopefully. And also bringing disposable pads of your own, so that you don't, even if you can't tell the staff this, then if you have the small disposable little pads, I mean, some people call them like the puppy pads, but if you can bring those and lay them down if you need them, then that'll be making you feel a little bit extra safe at night. I know that I've done them before. I don't like how they don't, like, I wish they kind of stuck to the bed sheets. There probably are some, but the ones you can buy at the drugstores, they don't stick to the bed sheets, so when you move around, they move around and they don't stay underneath you. So anyways, that's just another hang up of mine. A lot of people have a lot of accidents throughout the week and stuff. This is tip number 7. Here, there's like 5 things you might want to bring with you in a, I guess, small bag or a travel kit. The first one is sanitary wipes for yourself, a travel size package of tissues. Like these would be helpful for sure if you're using a porta potty or something like that. Hand sanitizer, especially if you are at some sort of concert or a park or something and there's no hand sanitizer around. A travel soap, I mean, if you really need to wash your hands and there's sort of like a fountain or a lake around, or wash anything, that'd be always good. And then paper or something to cover the seat with, which would be in the event that you really, like, they also say that squatting above a seat is not going to help. If you squat above a toilet seat to go to the washroom, it's just not going to make it, it's going to be more difficult to empty or completely void your bladder. So bringing paper or other just wet wipes or something like that to sit on if you need to sit there would be my suggestion, because they say not to squat. And then I'm going to go through the last 3 tips here pretty quickly. So number 8, if this isn't obvious enough, always stop and pee before you leave to go anywhere, because you never know when you're going to find another bathroom next. It makes less stressful and less awkward to do these sort of things if you're on a bus. When I was in England and traveling, we were on a tour bus. Of course, I have another tangent or story to go through. What else is new? I remember we were just about to get to the hotel and I so had to pee. And I know there was a bus, on the bus there was a tiny bathroom, like a lot of tour buses and stuff like that, or travel buses have. And I was just like, I really have to go. And I was telling Ashley, and I was like, because she was with me on this tour, and she's like, we'll be at the hotel in like 10 minutes. I'm like, even, because like in my mind, your destination isn't 10 minutes away, even if you park it, like, well, parking is one thing. So even if you get there and you're at the front lobby and you're 10 minutes away, if I even had a maximum of 10 minutes to wait, the bus still has to stop and park and whatever. The guy has to get off the bus and let everyone out. Then you have to get yourself out of your seat and down the aisles and stuff, like without leaking if you can. And then getting inside the lobby without just running in there like a maniac. And then finding the nearest washroom, which probably is pretty quick, like pretty much inside most lobbies and stuff. But that could add on another 5 minutes or so. So like for me, timing is so important. Like I am just like a, oh my god, I have to go to the bathroom and I have to go immediately kind of person. So I couldn't wait any longer. I know I was starting to leak into my underwear, so I was like, really had to go. I had to use the washroom on the bus, and like 5 minutes later we were at the hotel. And it was just such an awkward experience, and obviously you're gonna run into situations like that, but I just felt so embarrassed because everyone was like, what are you doing? I'm like, gotta go. So go away. Mind your own business. But yeah, that was kind of annoying. And I've been in many situations like that while traveling, and people are just like, we're gonna be there soon. I'm like, you don't understand. There's gonna be a puddle. And then finally, number 9 is to always have a buddy or travel buddy to tell, so they can make it less stressful for yourself, and then they can also help spot out washrooms and stuff like that. If you tell them about your issues, then you can have someone to confide in and stuff. So that would be my number 1 suggestion. Should have been at the top. But anyways, and then last tip of all, number 10, is to have fun. So I sound like a mom. traveling isn't meant to be stressful for the most part. It's supposed to be either one, you're on vacation, two, you're doing something for yourself that you haven't done in a long time and you just need to de-stress and stuff. So try and have fun while you're doing all this. This illness or whatever it is that's following you around is going to be there no matter what you do. So if you stay home and be mopey and whatever and never go traveling, you're just going to be living your life pretty poorly, in my opinion. Or not poorly, probably cheaply, but not poorly. But if you can have fun while you're doing all this, then you know, you won't even remember these awkward situations and scenarios if you follow my tips. Anyways, this video looks like it's gonna be a long one. So I hope you listened through it all and enjoyed the tips and stuff that I have provided. If you have any of yourself, or if you have any tips that you can inform others about, leave them in the comments below. Check out the adult bedwetting Reddit or subreddit. And if you have any questions or concerns, please email me. I mean, I don't mind Instagram messages and everything like that, but for me, emailing is the best way to get back to you if you have any questions and stories or stuff you want to share. And it's just in the description box below, so I always put my social medias and stuff like that down there. Anyways, I gotta go. I'm sorry this video was so long, but I just had a lot to say, and yeah, I will see you guys all later. Bye!